Welcome, everybody, and welcome to friends on Facebook. We are going live for the Oracle office hours today. We are here together from all over the world once again. It's such a joy to have been sharing these potent archetypes of the divine feminine with you. And in the beginning of these calls, I love to presence who's here and to feel how we are all here together, how we've been feeling the call. And good to see you, Tina. I'm glad you could make it all the way from Norway. So I love when people chat in the chat box and let us know where you're beaming in from. And we'll just take a minute to let people come on in. Welcome, Sylvia. Welcome, Lynn and Leaf. Welcome, John, again. Welcome, Agnes, all the way from Malta. Aloha, Amber from Maui, and Joyce from Seattle. Welcome, Pat. Good to see you, beloved. It's always so sweet. Dia Therese from the Valley of Peace. I'll never forget that. It's like a sweet rhyme. So if you feel, hi, Dawn. Welcome back from London. If you feel to put your camera on, it's also such a joy to see you. And later we'll have a chance to share. We'll be doing an oracle. I do repeat myself a little bit for those who've been here with me many times. You'll know the rhythm of the beginning of the call. I give a little bit of information for the newer people and for people on Facebook who find this and want to know what I'm up to. Why do I come in these costumes in a way? I'm a ordained priestess in the 13 Moon Mystery School, and we do something called ritual theater. We get to really dress the part of the different archetypes of the divine feminine. And so you've seen me here with wild headdresses and makeup and things. All that being said, it's not so much entertainment, even if it is kind of fun. I know Agnes was like, "Where's your headdress?" And I didn't wear it. It's not about entertainment as much as an inner entrainment into a frequency to really feel the embodiment of the archetype and the frequency. And as we come together and we honor the cycles, and these cycles, some of you have been with me in my Turn of the Wheel free live spiritual masterclasses. Those are larger cycles of these rituals and these times of year that mark very ancient celebrations. And I'm also in our Oracle office hours honoring the cycles of the moon, the lunar cycles, because in our busy worlds, in our modern worlds full of technology, when we're inside our digital devices and we're rushing here and there, one step ahead of our bodies in the future and the stressors of life, we often don't slow down and really take in the beauty of the moon and feel the energy and the effect that it has on us. Energetically, our ancient ancestors knew how to work with these cycles and frequencies and energetic changes for planting, for festivals, for harvesting, for when it's a good time to push your body and have the energy to really go for it, and when it's time to rest and dream and vision. And so we've been working consciously. Wow, how many have we done? Maybe it's going on 8 or 9 of these already, that we've noticed different cycles have different frequencies. So today we're going to get into where we are in the moon cycle. And I'm going to say a little bit about why I'm in this watery sapphire blue realm. For those who find this on Facebook Live, you'll see over on Zoom, it's much more interesting. So Zunera, if you haven't already, if you can drop in the comments on Facebook the Zoom link, then you can come on over. And for those who find this later on Facebook, Zoo, you can drop also the Oracle Office Hours sign up, so that when we begin again after my trip to the lands of Mary Magdalene this summer, then we can know where to come and have our time together again. All right, beloveds, just checking out who might have written where they're from. I think I've honored the ones that are in the chat already. And if you've come in since then and you want to let us know where you're coming in from, you can just put it in the chat. Beautiful. Let's take a big collective breath. Ah, wonderful. Oh, it's so good. Thank you for turning on your camera, Catherine, Caroline. It's good to see you. Yeah, there's a sweetness about the positive use of technology, really using the digital devices to connect in the heart, to come together, to raise our frequency, to open our heart, to activate these parts that often we feel so in our own experience with our spiritual paths. We feel like, okay, this is a very private part of my life, but I've come to learn, welcome, good to see you, David. I've come to learn that and directly experience it when we come together to pray, to meditate, to sing, to focus on something that's uplifting and high vibrational. We do great work for the collective together. And I mentioned on another call, they've even done some research about this, where people that meditate together in large groups, they shift the morphogenetic field of the whole, of the area where they're doing that. And there's less crime, less violence. We affect each other. I have a feeling in this next arc of time, this turning of the ages, this shift we're going through, we've been hearing a lot about that, this age of Aquarius, this rising out of the Kali Yuga into this Dwarpa Yuga towards the Satya Yuga, the age of truth, of light, of peace, of interconnectedness. We're going to be moving into our extra sensory channels of perception, really awakening. My sense is that technology is amazing and great, and it's just a tool that is also going to be shown to be somewhat limited, where our inner technologies are going to take off and will share so quickly and freely from the heart, from heart coherence. We'll share imagery, we'll share thoughts, we'll share feelings very instantly with each other. I've had glimpses of this already in my own life, these amazing channels opening. So today we'll talk a little bit more about that, because it's part of the archetype that we're in today. So let's go to our beautiful moon. Let's take a look for those who haven't noticed it. And sometimes the moon does say hello during the day in the blue sky. And this is that blue sky moon. We are in again. It's called the first quarter moon. And this moon, we've been here before. We have had a call where I was dressed as a very fiery warrior goddess, Kali Ma energy. That being said, I decided, because it's very close to the phase right before it, to come in with the archetypal energy right before that creator, destroyer, preserver that you've already met. And today I am in the beauty of the archetype of the priestess. And this is a temple that I created. If you're on Facebook, I recommend coming over to Zoom, because you can see this amazing background that I'm kind of gesturing to in my home office. So this is the frequency of sapphire blue. And this archetype of the divine feminine in herself is not a particular goddess archetype. It is the emissary and the embodiment of the goddess. This archetype is the priestess, and you can see the beauty of the temple that I created. I've been doing these temples for over 13 years now as a divine feminine mystery school teacher, and I'm going to show you some of the other feelings of this archetype. This is actually cropped a little bit too high. She has a chalice in her hand. Here's one of Mary Magdalene with the alabaster jar in her hands. So you'll notice behind her, it looks quite Egyptian, and you'll think, well, why is that? This is a temple of Hathor, and there's a lot of research coming out. I'd like to really honor a mythologist, a Christian mystic, spiritual researcher, author of over 40 years studying the life of Mary Magdalene and the connections with ancient Egypt that he's made, and that's William Henry. You can check out his work. You can find him online. So I was fortunate enough to study with him recently, and he has lifted the veil on some misperceptions about Mary Magdalene, just as the church is also coming out now with the real story that she was not this lowly, denigrated whore or prostitute. Rather, there are many Marys or Mariams or Mariamnes in the biblical ancient texts. This Mary was from Magdala and trained as a priestess. The place she comes from is known for its deep spiritual mysticism, and she was known to have traveled extensively and to be an educated and wealthy woman at the time. So here you can see her in front of this temple of Hathor. Here is another kind of interesting Egyptian temple priestess image with altars and rites and rituals. The priestess is tending the temple of the goddess, and she is here. She has not disappeared, even though the system we've been in for the last several thousand years has been kind of trying to stamp out the feminine in some ways. Here we have the Oracle of Delphi in ancient Greece, and you'll see her sitting in these ethers, these mists, where the other priestesses are standing around her, and men as well would be coming, the wise men, to be asking certain questions from the oracle. It said that the earth was open, there was a fissure, and these gases would come up, and the oracle would become very altered, and then this other sense of gnosis or knowing would come through. So the priestess is an emissary of the goddess who is here at this time. These are these two women, kind of like third eye to third eye, in deep prayer, meditation. The priestess is here in this time for the collective evolution and awakening as a lamp lifter, a way shower. And it's interesting, this moon phase, we're going back into the waters. She's sometimes known as the mistress of the waters, the lady of the lake, who gives King Arthur the sword as a symbol of alignment, truth, and clarity. In this time we're in, there is a shift and a big awakening amongst many who are experiencing what they're calling remembrance, direct knowing, gnosis. And with that remembrance, many beings, not just women, I have deeply connected with many men in my community, my spiritual community, who remember being priests. They remember being even Cathars. The Cathars were the followers of the way of love, the original Gnostic teachings of Mary Magdalene and Yeshua Emmanuel. So for many of us, these remembrances feel sometimes almost dreamlike. You might have visions of times past, of rituals, of weaving rosemary into the hair of a sister and singing songs, of boats leaving Avalon. Even times like Atlantis, people are speaking of remembering waves of water coming towards the temples. So you're not crazy. You're not, some of us are like, well, maybe it's imagination. This part of our collective psyche is holding a lot of memory, both very beautiful and some very traumatic. about when the temples were desecrated, when the goddess was denied. And in my passage, my life, I've come to remember many of these times. And for friends on Facebook who are listening, come over to the Zoom. You can see the beauty of the backgrounds and be with me with this music that is also, once again, healing the body as we listen, the solfeggio music, the miracle frequency. So this first quarter moon, this half moon from that fiery creator destroyer temple was really about get up and go. And it is still this energy after that eclipse energy where it wasn't a good time to really do anything. It was a time to just be with the feelings and the intensity. Now it's time to kind of, bring yourself back into, what am I creating here? What am I doing? What am I devoted to? What are my intentions? How am I moving towards my vision? And I found it really powerful to combine that with the priest or priestess. High priestess is an interesting archetype many are familiar with this archetype, because we're needed to collectively bring some of our own energy and that inner focus that's available to us into the collective visioning and healing on the planet at this time. The archetype of the high priestess in particular is one who is connected to the elements, to nature, to Gaia, who is here as an emissary of balance, of harmony, and working diligently for that to come back into this realm. So as you feel into your heart and your life in this time, you may not identify with being a priestess. It's a very kind of newer word in our collective consciousness, whereas priest is so common. You may not identify necessarily with that word, but can you identify with being a lamp lifter, a way shower, a light worker, a healer, a keeper of the keys of wisdom, or other keys and codes that you're carrying in this lifetime? I'm sure many of you can, and I would love to hear some of that in the chat today, what you feel is yours to bring forth in this lifetime. So as we do this great work of remembering and amplifying together, we hold each other in our unique medicine with deep honor. There's some of you that know you're carrying codes in your hands, that you're carrying the ability to touch and move energy through your hands onto a beloved's body or onto your own body for self-healing. You may be a kinesthetic channel. Your body may tell you truth. You may feel your yes and your no like a divining rod in your body. This is a priestess skill. This is a wonderful thing to tune into. You may sometimes just get direct downloads where you're like, I don't know how I know, but I know. It's like inner knowing, gnosis. You don't have to call yourself a priestess. That being said, it is one of the skills of the priestess archetype. You may sometimes feel like spirit, the goddess, your angels are talking to you. You may hear whispers from beyond the veil. How many of us sometimes just have this like, is that my own voice, or did I just hear turn down this road for some reason? I'm going to follow that. Why? I know that's true. Like, that's called clairaudience. We have listening beyond the veil. One time I was receiving a healing from these Tibetan Reiki masters in Thailand, two beings working on the body, not physically touching, just working around the body. And the part that I loved was at the end, I heard all these little chimes that they were doing around my body. And I thanked them, and I reflected that. I said, I really loved the chimes. And they said, what chimes? There wasn't physical bells or chimes, but I was hearing something on the etheric that was occurring from the healing. So how many of us, when we sit with a beloved and relax and just open to perceive them with a very soft gaze, have seen a little color around their crown against the wall behind them, or seen their face start to shift, change, even reveal perhaps other timelines or lifetimes? How many of us have seen these things? You know this? I can see some people nodding. So this is clairvoyance. This is clear visioning beyond the physical 3D realm. We're so enamored by our five senses in this world. We think that's all that's happening, when there's so much more. We know that animals can hear much further than we can through the spectrum, the audible spectrum. Other animals can see in infrared or ultraviolet. We're in a little bandwidth with our senses, but we have extrasensory perception, and it is awakening. So these are parts of this archetype to really contemplate. And I'm going to tune in with what people are sharing, because there's some beautiful shares in the chat. Yes, lots of sacred skills, keeper of the ancient wisdom. Beautiful. Yes. Oh, Sylvia is honoring that she has this ability to heal with hands. And Randy is saying he has some trauma with this from probably other timelines, other lifetimes, where we were, when let's say the changing of the guards, the shifting of the powers that be, the more Saturnian energies of control took their place and the goddess was desecrated. These gifts were then thought of as dangerous to the systems of control. So these gifts were not revered the way they once were. Many of us have memories of being dragged out of temples, beaten, killed, burned, all these. It's, a little intense to say it out loud. When I sit in these circles with my sisters, there's great celebration and great love and wonderful moments of remembrance. And there's also tears and pain of remembrance of the parts that were so frightening, where we vowed to forget, or some of us vowing to forget or to hide our gifts. So that makes sense to me. Yes, inner technology, telepathy, power of intention. The more we remember, the more we shift into this frequency. Yes. Yes, the Hathors are the sound technicians from beyond the veil. They are working with us. They are opening up our channels when we tune into them. That image of Mary Magdalene was super powerful to me, to find her with the Hathors. Tom Kenyon has done some great work with the Hathors as well. Yes, Fatima says, I resonate with the priestess. Sylvia says, lots of skills. She's a tree being. Many of us have our specialties. Some of us work with herbs or sacred oils. I actually brought this beautiful little sacred oil to anoint myself, to drop deeper into the frequency. The anointing priestesses were called the myrrhophores, and it comes from the myrrh, carriers of myrrh. And it's said that Magdalene anointed Yeshua with spikenard, this very potent. I cannot tolerate it on my body, but I've definitely worked with it and smelled it before. If you have a sacred oil, essential oil that you work with, it's so wonderful to first just take it into your olfactory sense. It opens that channel. And then, did you know the olfactory channel has a higher octave that's an extrasensory channel of perception? We sometimes will smell a very particular smell when there's a spiritual context. Once I moved into a new home that had One of the bedrooms downstairs, very special. I walked into the door. This was going to be one of the children's rooms. And not only did the air feel more viscous, it felt soft and it smelled sweet to me in that room. And when I asked the landlord, I said, there's something so unique about this room. He said that the person that lived there that rented before had a Tibetan Rinpoche connection, and the Rinpoche and his monks would come stay with her and chant in that room. And that was amazing to me. The actual feeling I had in the space and the smell. And it wasn't that they burned so much incense from years and years ago that you can still smell it. It was an extrasensory olfactory perception. We also have that with the gustatory channel. Sometimes there's a sweet nectar that will drop, a taste that will say yes or no. There's a way that these channels have a higher octave as well. Joyce says, carrying authenticity and empathy, seeking justice, calling truth to power. So I'm glad that you're potentizing. This is what you are, your skills, your priestess codes, and what you're devoted to. This is another aspect of this archetype. It's really going to ask us, what are you devoted to? What are you devoted to in this lifetime? Why have you been called across the vast sea to take form again? What are you devoted to in the center of your sacred heart? If you can tune into that, let that be a lamp you lift and carry with even more courage and strength on this shape of a half, first quarter moon, really tuning into that which you're devoted to again, to potentize it. And if you want to put that in the chat like Joyce did, Jody says, to help and heal myself and others, to create heaven on earth for now and future generations, so that we may all live more comfortably on earth in this now. Aho. All right, I'm going to ring the Tibetan bowl for both Joyce and Jody to really amplify these beautiful shares. Yes, I am devoted to the awakening of the collective heart of humanity through my own heart awakening, through my own remembrance of who I really am. One of the most potent aspects of priestess is that she knows, and as a priest, a true devotee of the goddess, we know that the divine is not separate from us, that it is not outside in some upward place that you need to die and transcend completely the physical to connect with. As an emissary of the goddess, we honor that the divine is everywhere. The goddess is alive and afoot. Ancient indigenous cultures knew that. They were quite surprised when they were colonized and the Christian religion came and said, your earthy religions and traditions are evil, they're wrong, and God is punishing you and judging you, and he's up there watching but not happy. So we're taking back this sense of connection with the divine, like the indigenous people knew that she is everywhere, mother's emanation, the beauty of creation, the creatrix, life. We are part of that, and we are that, and she is with us, within us. So I know there's a lot of religious trauma in the collective, and during this time of awakening together, we're lifting many veils, many veils. There's a really powerful book I was turned on to. My beloved friend who's here with me actually sent me a link of this translation of the Old Testament. There were not even vowels originally in this ancient Hebrew text. And this translator who studies ancient Greek, ancient Hebrew, Italian man was saying, you know, there's been so many leaps into writing things down that it meant, when it was more of a history, a story of what was really going on at the time. So I think it's called The Gods of the Bible. Instead of the one God, it was Gods of the Bible. It's interesting just to tune into that. Dia Therese says, I bet we were all Cathars. The song Avalon. Oh, is that the Tina Malia song? I almost played that as an intro today. She says, when we reach the shores of Avalon, it's beautiful. Tina says, I have inner knowing and connection to ancient wisdom. Yeah, that is why you are on this path. That is why you are called and resonating. It's remembrance. Yeah, and the Mists of Avalon. such a classic. I read it so young. I've thought of rereading it. Beautiful. People are resonating with the olfactory channel and spikenard. I think it's one word, Dia Therese. Pat says, I have been guided as an earth grid holder. Beautiful. To recognize that. To recognize the way that you do this great work with your heart and your intention. Dia Therese says she's devoted to reflecting to others their beauty. Beautiful. Really reflecting that back to you. Fatima says, deep love and connection, freedom, divine feminine, and beauty. Wow, I'm going to ring the bowl here for a few of these shares too. To beauty, to reflecting the beauty, to remembering the beauty we are. I love that Native Americans will use that word beauty in such a way that's connecting with the divine. Beauty before me, beauty behind me, beauty to the right of me, beauty to the left of me, beauty above me, beauty below me, beauty surrounds, beauty within. Hoshone. So beautiful. Amber, I'm here to be a catalyst for the shift of the ages, the golden age of enlightenment. Blessing, sister, to this recognition, to this knowing why you're here. And I'm sure you speak for many. And Amber says Jody speaks for her too. Yay. So as we make this shift, it begins within. It begins within. So I'm going to invite that we do a couple practices together. One of the beautiful ways that we can really usher in this next age is heart first and through our own higher frequencies. There is a lot of kind of birthing pains occurring where the illusion of separation seems to be amping up even louder in this time, and really challenging us to stay in compassion, to stay in heart-centered presence, to stay conscious and to witness and to really watch the patterns imprinted within ourselves that want to react. That's wrong, that's bad, or like, no. And that's the fear that's imprinted in our own body when we hear or see things that we don't resonate with, that are not in the harmonic of love. I once heard an expression, what if we returned all non-love or apparently non-loving actions with love? What if we could see everyone as either offering an act of love or a cry for love through their confusion, delusion, and choices? It might not appear loving. It's a cry for love at this time. Instead of judging as a priestess or priest, as a way shower, as a lamp lifter, as a keeper of the keys of wisdom, to recognize this power that you have to shift the morphogenetic field, the collective, by the way you choose moment to moment. What would love do now and now and now? So let's light our hands of light together and do a beautiful practice. So first, just bringing them to the heart center, the center of the heart chakra, and bowing our chins, diving deep into the space behind the Namaste Mudra, into the sacred heart, breathing into the back heart, feeling this spark of light, of love, of peace, of truth that resides there, this place of infinite wisdom and all-encompassing compassion. Breathing into that as if every breath is brightening it, using the prana and your single-pointed focus. No matter what's happened to you, and no matter what you have said or done in this life, this part is the diamond, the unbreakable gem, the jewel in the center of the lotus. So as we are here in our sacred heart, connecting to that beauty, that gem, breathing into it and just feeling for yourself. There may be a particular vision, a particular color, a particular image that comes for you. Just tapping into that energy and feeling gratitude for this opportunity to be here now, to be incarnated at this time of dire beauty and chaos, as an author that I can't remember called it. I wish I had that name. Dire beauty and chaos. Just feeling that you have absolutely chosen this and all the opportunities to live embodied love in this timeline, this lifetime. Feel what you're grateful for. Feel the beauty that surrounds. And then as you lift your chin, opening your fingers to that Padma, that lotus mudra, keeping your pinky tips and thumbs together and just lifting the chin and feeling the sacred tool of the chalice, the priestess, the priest that lifts the chalice, that knows the body is like the living chalice. Feeling that overflowing chalice to be filled from this beauty, to be rooted as if the stem of the chalice is going down your central channel and widening in the earth, and then bringing back even more support up into the heart, and then the fountaining and overflowing from this light that's pouring in and down into your chalice. And we lift that chalice to the third eye in deep honor of this journey. And then we lift it up to the soul star, to the one heart. And then we bring our hands pressed together again, coming down the center line, bringing them all the way through the central channel, all the way down. The body is the living temple. How to be like a static free receiver for more divine resonance. Placing the palms of the hands in a downward triangle on the hara, the dantian, the sacral chakra under the navel, lifting the heart. And now with the power of this first quarter moon, feeling a holy flame lit in your heart. And perhaps today it's the hottest sapphire blue part of that flame. Feel that passion, the sacred heart's passion, and the courage, courage, the rage of the heart, courage, heart. The rage is the passion, the fire, the courage to lead your life heart first. And bringing your attention to your third eye, placing another flame there, to the eye that sees beyond the veil, that sees beyond the illusion of separation, that sees beauty that surrounds. Feel into your vision for your life and the earth and the collective. Feel into a vision for a harmonious, balanced, beautiful, peaceful future for our children's children's children, 7 generations. You may see visions of beauty, the way that we will heal the land and the oceans, clear out the old guard that's raping and profiting off the earth and the beings in a way that is out of harmony. Just feeling the new light dawning. One more deep breath like this, then we're going to bring that mudra of Namaste back up just to bow and seal this vision, seal this potency. Breathing back into the heart. Thank you, thank you, thank you for this day, for this chance to come together in this good way, to remember, to amplify this vision. Aho, and slowly dropping your hands and opening your eyes. I'm just going to ring the bowl and bring this ring out to the one heart. And I'm called to offer the chalice. I have this beautiful chalice here. And so I lift the chalice with you today. And I offer it to you. If you have water with you, bring your water now to your eye line and really visioning in and blessing your water. Drink of the waters of remembrance. Alchemize anything less than love. Drink of the waters of remembrance. Transfiguration through grace. To the one heart. To the one heart. So my loves, I'm just going to tune in if there's any other shares. Oh, Jody says, if anyone throws shade on you, throw them flowers. Oh, beautiful. All right, Sylvia. How do we engage or not with mean people? I'm finding keeping centered, holding compassionate space, being present in my truth, and sharing observations of communal dynamics to be my current path. Wow, it sounds like you answered your own question, Sylvia, when you shared. That's beautiful. That I feel like what you said is really when we, there is a moment that I've noticed shifts when I've been taking really good care of my own heart and I feel full, my cup is overflowing. When someone appears mean or speaks to me in a tone that's like, ouch, or makes a choice that I don't resonate with, instead of feeling victimized by them, when my cup is really overflowing, I find myself being able to see them from compassionate detachment and to say, there's a lot of reactivity happening over there. There's a lot of upset or anger happening over there, or they may be feeling really stressed. And then it's less about me. It's not as personal. So I know that when the rubber hits the road, when it's someone we're near to, not a total stranger, it's easier. I remember when I lived in New York City, I'd be walking across the street and some being who may have had holes blown open in their aura from choices they've made and was riddled with voices and tics would swear at me or seemingly shout obscenities, or it seemed like they were focusing that energy towards me. And instead of letting that ruin my day or collapsing or feeling fear, I would notice, oh, this being is not well. They are not well. bless, bless, right? So how can we, that's an easy way of seeing that extreme spectrum when it's your partner, your child, your parent, your best friend, and they're triggered and they're like, it's your fault. The energy is zooming towards you with their upset. How do we maintain equanimity? That's one of the priestess gifts, equanimity. This archetype is really like neutral witness, compassionate. That's where the rubber hits the road, and that is the practice, and that is the initiation for each of us. I cannot tell you what it will take for you. I can only tell you that I've been humbled many times, especially I've mentioned in these calls with my 17-year-old son, or someone I really, really love and honor and want to like me and trust me and think I'm good. And then I'm like, wow, I'm attached. There's attachment, right? As soon as we can come back to this overflowing chalice that I am enough, I am love, and if this person is not perceiving me accurately, if they're blaming, shaming, attacking in a sense of their reactivity is pointed, sometimes it takes space. Sometimes it takes walking in the other room or not engaging. Because the moment that you flip your lid, the moment that we've talked about the trauma response in the root chakra, the moment you tuck and hold your breath into flight or freeze or fawn, quickly your voice gets higher and you're reacting, you're off balance, you're not in your heart-centered presence anymore. Or if that tail swings up like, I'll show you, that scorpion attack, you are creating drama and karma right along with that being. So let them go in that moment. Let them be in their experience. Come back to your heart. I know we have all been practicing this. This is the deepest spiritual work. It's the practical spirituality. It's the rubber hits the road right here. This is where it makes a difference. Not so much, I mean, it's all important. The visioning, the meditating, the raising your frequency. Then you're tested. How do you stay in the heart? How do you stay in that innocence? And how do you see innocence? How do you forgive everything? Let them off the hook, let them off the cross, so to speak. Bring back the clear seeing, innocence. Yeah, beautiful question. Thank you for that today, Sylvia. All right, my loves. This has been deep. I can see some nods. I can see some real resonance. I would love to offer a couple cards today. I know that we did a collective reading during the eclipse because it was so intense, the collective energies. I have a couple friends that I promised to do a reading for. If you still want one, let me know. You good? You want one? Yeah? Okay. All right. So beautiful. Tina, you want one too? Yes. Okay, you can either hold the little hand signal up if you know how to do that, or in the chat, you can just say please or yes for reading. I'm going to start with you, Tina, because you put it first. And so as we focus on the energies of this first quarter moon and that energy right now that would say move, this is an energy of go. This is the energy of do. Whereas some of the other moon cycles are going to say pause, rest, wait, dream, feel. This is the energy that will say whatever you're really devoted to, whatever you've been dreaming into, take an action today. So Tina, as you feel into your query, into your heart, and we choose a card from these beautiful cards for you, just feel into the archetype that you receive, whether it's the archetype itself, the tool, or the frequency, as part of this guidance for you in this timing of taking action in some way. So unless it's an archetype that says rest, we'll see what it says. Okay, let me actually put you with me on the spotlight. Let's see, here we go. There you are.
Hey.
Hi.
Hello. Hi.
Good to see you.
Good
All right,
to see you. Thank you.
You're so welcome. I'm gonna slowly come across the cards, and when you're ready, you just say now, okay? So here we go.
Now.
Oh boy. Remember the last first quarter moon was this archetype. This is the archetype that's the most the energy of this moon phase. It is the creator, destroyer, preserver. And what does it say? Liberation. This, of course, for you. Okay, so you'll notice the frequency of red, black, and white. There's a little gold here, but it's really these three faces of the goddess: the creatrix, the destroyer, and the preserver. So I'm going to invite you to journal on what needs to be completely let go of, destroyed, burnt to ash, what pattern in the self that's keeping me from my freedom, from my true liberation. What do I need to let go of? And even through like writing it down and burning it, doing a ritual with fire. This is a fiery archetype. And then the creatrix is going to have the space and the energy from those ashes, like rising like a phoenix from the fire, to create something new, to really serve your life. So feel into her voice. And this is the red face of the goddess. This is that fiery energy of creation. And then the preserver, the white one, is going to say, what is true and lasting, like that spark in the center of your sacred heart? What aspects of my life, what parts of my choices am I going to remain connected to because I know they are true? And this is coming from essence. So this is for you to deepen on, beloved, because it's really about you freeing yourself up, liberation. Yeah, it's a lot of energy to work with. Yes to that. And for the one, yay. And I often remind everyone here, if that resonated for you, it's archetypal, and the archetypal wisdom will find the ones that need it. It's not just for Tina. All right, blessed be. Thank you, love. For those on Facebook, come on over if you want to be with us. I have this beautiful background. You can see much clearer, and there's the link in the chat in the comments below. Would you like a reading? Let's do it.
Yes, please.
Okay, let me add the spotlight.
Hi.
Welcome. Hi, John. All right, so let's see what face of the goddess, what tool, and what frequency. Tina's card was a frequency card, and you can feel they're all potent. They all have this incredible archetypal wisdom and power connected. Zunera, would you please pop Ariel's link in the chat for those who are like, oh my God, I love these cards? Because I get private messages from the Facebook friends saying, how do I get this deck? Yeah, and here, thank you. All right, let's fan these guys out. Okay, I'm gonna go really slow and you just, whoop, I'm gonna lose them. Let me know when you're ready.
No.
You got an archetype. You got the muse.
It's perfect.
So beautiful. Yes, she's all about play. She's all about trusting the divine child innocence in the heart again. And it's about your creativity. I mean, you're a wellspring of creativity already. For those who don't know John, he's just published his first book of poetry. He's incredibly talented. So the muse is speaking to you and beckoning you. She also has this magical tool in the image. There is a card that's just the tool, but you'll notice the sacred tool of the wand. And the wand is about attunement, and it's about alignment. And the wand kind of directs energy. So anywhere in your life that you might still have scattered focus, procrastination, or feel kind of ADHD about things, like not able to focus, really consider even working with a wand. Maybe it's an energetic wand of your own being. Maybe you find in a nature walk an actual wand that reveals itself for you, just to be with this attunement, this alignment, and this direction for yourself as you're getting your creativity out there.
Thank you. That's beautiful. Yeah, I actually have something that immediately comes to mind that would be a perfect tangible instrument for that. So thank you for that invitation.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
awesome.
Thank you.
Yay. Ding to that. And for all of us listening that relate or resonate with that card, the muse is also reminding us that play is not a frivolity. It's actually an opening to divine inspiration. Her frequency, her archetype says, I play, I inspire. I play, I inspire. So I'll do one more. Zoo, would you like one?
Sure. Thank you, love.
Yay. Okay. Okay, beloved. Mix the cards up. And for those who didn't receive a reading, we're going to come back and recommence with these beautiful weekly community calls after my trip to the sacred lands of Mary Magdalene. I just thought it was so perfect to do this archetype today, as I'm focusing so much on that in this next chapter. All right, my dear, are you ready? Okay, here we go.
No.
It feels like it might want to be the one right after the big one. Is it this one? Is it that one, or is it the one right after it?
The one right after.
Okay. Ooh, rainbow light body. Oh, it's beautiful. This is the alchemical goddess. Oh, this is the one that is saying, I am union, I am grace, I am freedom, I am the full spectrum rainbow light body awakening. I am every wheel of light blossoming, opening, and receiving the grace from the higher octaves. And she's the culmination of all the archetypes. So I know that you've come through the Divine Feminine Mystery School training with me, and you know about all the faces. So they're alive in you. And as you pulled her today, she's really going to ask you to trust that you have access to the frequencies, the colors of the rainbow when you need them. So whether you need that fiery Kali energy, that deeply rooted Great Mother red root energy, whatever you need, you can draw on this rainbow light body, your beauty. You can access this. You know these places in yourself. You can see she's sitting in peace and presence. And what comes up intuitively is just to Give yourself time daily, whether it's with your tea under the tree, whether it's, before you jump into work calls. I know today was a crazy early one, but to have that time to really amplify the light of your being, to really come back to your alignment, your energy centers, and to amplify in stillness, to sit. Is that resonating, beloved?
Yes.
Yeah, beautiful. I love that you chose this card because the reason why we're pausing the Oracle office hours is to do this beautiful course for 7 weeks, the Rainbow Light Body Activation and the Ascension Path of Mary Magdalene course, that I've been so inspired since I agreed to go to France. And as I've learned more and more about what Mary Magdalene was really up to, and I'm once again honoring what I also was confirmed by when I worked with William Henry. He had a beautiful class on Mary Magdalene and our angelic human ascension after I had chosen to do the Rainbow Light Body course. And I was sitting there going, I'm going to the lands of Mary Magdalene. I'm doing this Mary Magdalene Rainbow Light Body course. And now his 40 years of research are confirming that which came from Gnosis, from my heart knowing. And I was blown away. It was like goosebumps. And so thank you, Zoo, for picking a card today. And this is so perfect. So beautiful. Yay. So those of you who are coming with me on this journey, this next chapter, I'm so, so touched that you're going to be a part of that. And I know that others have been asking, like, how can I do this? Can I have a longer payment plan? I have created a devotional discount code for this too, because I don't want this to be goodbye for months until I come back from France. I would love to bring all of us with on this journey and go even deeper into the work. So if you want to do that, Zoo, can you put the link in the chat for the Rainbow Light Body course? Oh, you have already. And can you just type in the code for the 20% off? It's sister. So I'm a yes. I had someone write me this morning saying, even with the sister discount code, I'm moving. I can't do it in 3 months payments. Can I do it in 6 months? And listen, this is not about me somehow making tons of money. This is about all of us coming together and learning. And I do have human needs. I do honor my time. So if you need a longer payment plan and that makes that possible for you too, just reach out. I think the best way to reach out is if you're connected to me through Facebook or Instagram on the direct messages, or through support@edanamadora.com. There's a contact button on my website. Let me know soon, because we're starting next week, and I'll have my assistant create a longer payment plan. We'll just make it work. We'll do it. Why not? Let's keep joining. Let's be together. So I love that was asked just earlier today. And by the way, this one is not just for women. I know that the 13 Moon Mystery School year-long training is much more, about the sisterhood and women. That being said, I have been sharing this journey with a beautiful brother named Argon, who is a Miraphor. He's an anointing priest, and he creates his oils, and this was one of his oils. And he's coming to be with us in the Rainbow Light Body Ascension course. He is actually going to be teaching self-anointing, and he created a chakra oil blend for each of our wheels of light. He created a very specific oil that will help activate and open and awaken each of our energy centers, and we'll be learning very beautiful anointing rituals. So come, men, come with us. Join me. I would love that. It would be really special. Aw. I'm just kind of tuning in. Jody says, I love that rainbow card. I started seeing rainbows as soon as the live started. Oh, thank you so much, everybody. This has been a beautiful call today. It's so good to be here. And one more thing that I thought was worth mentioning, because some people have been contemplating really going deep with me, and there's still space left in our retreat. We are going to be in ceremony in person the 25th of June till the 2nd of July in the lands of Mary Magdalene, in that beauty and in those crystalline sacred spring waters that she used doing water ritual, as we are working with the waters as priestesses. And this one is still just for women. Later we'll do some kind of wonderful big retreat for everybody, but this one is a very special feminine renaissance retreat. And I'd love to pop that in the chat too at the end, just as, yeah. Zoo, can you put that in the chat as well for the feminine renaissance retreat, so people who haven't seen it can at least check it out. Dear Teresa, I'm going to give you the early bird gift that I don't know if you already signed up as an early bird, but I'm going to give it to you. And Erin will help you with that. And if that's something that would help you also go towards something else in the future, we can apply it towards something in the future. Yay. Yay. So here Zanera has put the retreat. Zanera is going to be there. And we have our beautiful Chanel that some of you met in one of these other calls. And I would just love to hear from you. If the price is the biggest deterrent, there is a room in this beautiful French villa that, luckily we found this villa that has this like priestess quarters. It has like all these single beds, and I'm like, wow, I'm gonna give people a lesser rate for this if they're willing to stay in this communal room. So that's an option too. If you want to reach out to me and inquire about that so that you can come, if you've always wanted to do this pilgrimage and you want to deepen with me in person, in ritual, in ceremony, then check out that link and let me know. You can reach out if that communal room sounds like, well, that would make it easier. Then come, please come. Don't let that hold you back. All right, everyone, let's complete this call by bringing our hands to our hearts, and we're just going to lift it to the one heart, to all beings. Blessed be, to the one heart. I look forward to being with you all again soon. Reach out if you want to make that possible as soon as next week. And remember, we have our Beltane call. One more free, beautiful community call on Monday afternoon. I know it's a little late for our European friends, but there'll be a replay. Much love, everyone. I'm going to put you in gallery so I can see you. Hi, everybody. Bye. Much, much love. Bye for now.